let's talk about Nathaniel Hackett and the Denver Broncos. So the Denver Broncos are one of those teams that a lot of people are going to say, hey, they just got a veteran quarterback in Russell Wilson, who at the time they made the trade was a top 10 quarterback. Some people would even argue with you that he was top 5, even though he dealt with a finger injury. After last season, he did show some inconsistency woes, but they still got something better than nothing. That was a major thing with the Denver Broncos. They were saying, hey, we have this guy in Russell Wilson that's amazing. They're going to go to the playoffs. And all of a sudden, they're now 3-7. They have failed to live up to expectations. And they also had to trade their star pass rusher, Bradley Chubb, to the Miami Dolphins for a first-round pick to get some draft capital back because Russell Wilson took the majority of their first-round picks for the next couple of years. When I look at this Denver Broncos team, a lot of people are saying Nathaniel Hackett, Nathaniel Hackett, Nathaniel Hackett. That's all I hear. They've been clowning Nathaniel Hackett since week 1. And I'm a big Nathaniel Hackett fan. And I'm a big Russell Wilson fan. So I'm going to be completely honest with you. This hurts for me to watch because I thought Nathaniel Hackett was going to be a very good head coach. But it's hard to get a fair assessment of what he can do with this Denver Broncos team because the quarterback and Russell Wilson has been horrible this year. This is the worst year Russell Wilson has had in his career. Now, that's not to all just make an excuse for Nathaniel Hackett and say that's reason number one why he shouldn't be fired. Nathaniel Hackett struggled to manage the clock early in the season, so he hired a consultant to help him with that. Nathaniel Hackett recently just said, you know what, I'm done calling offensive plays. Gave that away as well. I think that he took this job he was in over his head, and the main reason that the Denver Broncos probably gave him this job is because they thought they were going to end up with Aaron Rodgers. I really believe that's why the Denver Broncos hired him. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just being conspiracy theories here, but it makes too much sense. A guy that was close with Aaron Rodgers, a guy that Aaron Rodgers liked as a coach, as an offensive play caller. Aaron Rodgers was dealing with a lot of things with the Green Bay Packers at the time. The Jordan Love situation, they probably thought that, hey, Aaron Rodgers probably going to his way out and they're going to turn it over to Jordan Love. And instead, that did not happen. He decided to go back to the Green Bay Packers, and they had to go out there and scramble for a quarterback. And you're not scrambling for a guy and go get Russell Wilson. At the time, remember, Russell Wilson, former Super Bowl champion, helped lead the Seattle Seahawks to a Super Bowl victory. Has been an amazing quarterback. The truth with Russell Wilson is that he was never a guy that you would go out there and depend on him solely to help you win. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that. I know a lot of people say that now, but you have to realize at the time when I made that comment, a lot of people hated on me for it. But go back and look at it. Russell Wilson was never a guy that you put the ball in his hand for the majority of the game and say, hey, go win me this game. They always had a good rushing attack with the Seattle Seahawks, good weapons, and defenses that could bail them out at times, and towards the end. And still at the end, they still had good defenses. But now we're seeing Russell Wilson in a situation to where, hey, you have to do majority of the heavy lifting on the offensive end. Melvin Gordon was horrible this year as well. He dealt with fumbling issues. You can't put that on Nathaniel Hackett. When you go back and you look at Russell Wilson on film, guys were getting open when Nathaniel Hackett was calling plays. Miss accuracy, stepping up in the pocket when he didn't need to be, running around when he didn't need to be. The biggest flaws with Russell Wilson's game, and like I said, I'm a big fan of Russell Wilson. He's one of my favorite quarterbacks to ever play football. But I've always been very judgmental of him. He would scramble out the pocket when he didn't need to, and receivers would get open. He would run himself into sacks. We're seeing it with the Denver Broncos now. Look at since he left the Seattle Seahawks. Geno Smith doesn't get sacked as much because he's just not running around the field. But that's what makes Russell Wilson great at the time. He scrambles around. He does all these good things. He throws the ball. Improv. It's not that anymore. He can't work outside of structured plays anymore. It's not as pretty. Now he's throwing the dumb interception. He's doing head-scratching plays at times when you really look at him. Do I think he's salvageable? Yes. I think that this is his first year in a brand new system and things just hasn't gone right. But the defense for this team, they're a playoff caliber defense. This team is ready to go to work right now. This team is ready to go defensively. Even without Bradley Chubb, you have one of the best corners in football in Patrick Surtain, who has been amazing. Justice Simmons, one of the best safeties in all of football. Got to give those guys respect. They have been very good on the defensive end. They've been very sound. And all the wins that have come throughout this season has not been because of Russell Wilson. It's been because that defense is freaking amazing. And to the people that say, hey, you're lying about saying you don't want the ball in Russell Wilson's hands, I agreed with them kicking the field goal in week 1 against the Seattle Seahawks. He just didn't make the field goal. The problem with it is hindsight's 2020. He put the ball in Russell Wilson's hands against the Indianapolis Colts, and look what happened. You can't say it's on Nathaniel Hackett. He's damned if he does, and he's damned if he doesn't. That's the thing with Nathaniel Hackett. Is no matter what happens this season, he was going to get the blame for it if it didn't work out. That was the main thing with Nathaniel Hackett. If it didn't work out, I said it in the prediction video, and I was wrong about this team because I said they're going to go 10-7, they're going to make the playoffs. The main thing that I said, if this doesn't work out, they're going to give that man all the blame, and that's what they're doing right now. But he doesn't deserve all the blame. He doesn't deserve the blame for the Melvin Gordon fumbles, who recently just got cut. He doesn't deserve the blame for the injuries that they've gotten. He doesn't deserve the blame for the missed throws of Russell Wilson. What he does deserve the blame for is offensive structure that hasn't worked out and certain play calls that make you scratch your head and say, what are you doing? And hiring a consultant. But it's hard to defend him now because he just gave up play calling duties. And you had to hire an offensive consultant anyway. It makes it seem like you weren't ready for this job. And the questioning himself at certain times, to not run the ball in the end zone against the Indianapolis Colts, and looking back on it, if you did run the ball with Melvin Gordon, it's not a shot at him. He maybe would have fumbled it because it seemed like in the most crucial times he fumbles the football. And Javonte Williams being out as well does not help this offense at all. I'm not here to make excuses for anyone. Russell Wilson has been terrible this year. Nathaniel Hackett's play calling at times has been horrible, but I'm not going to sit up here and give this man all of the blame like how some people are doing for when it's not in his hands, when it's not his fault. The fumbles are not his fault. The missed throws by Russell Wilson are not his fault. And the scrambling outside and inside the pocket and getting himself sacked is not Nathaniel Hackett's fault. Russell Wilson is not scanning the field properly anymore, and it's a lot of missed throws that's happening. Now, he played a decent game against the Las Vegas Raiders, but towards the end of the game, he cost them the game with a dumb decision. That is not on Nathaniel Hackett. And when the defense gives up big plays, that's not on the defense fault anymore as well, because they're on the field majority of the game because it's a bunch of 3-and-outs or a bunch of interceptions or a bunch of turnovers. Between Russell Wilson's interceptions, missed throws, and fumbles, this defense is always on the field. And I can't just come out here and just say it's the coaching. Does Nathaniel Hackett deserve a second chance? In my opinion, he does. But that is me saying that. I don't think the Denver Broncos owners give him another opportunity. I think they fire him. Because guess what? You traded multiple first-round picks for Russell Wilson, and you gave him a massive contract on the back end of it. So guess what? He is more likely to stay than a coach is with this team. And Nathaniel Hackett will always have a home with the Green Bay Packers, regardless of how some people feel about him. I do think that he got cut a raw deal looking back at it now. But on surface level, when they made that trade, a lot of people, including me, believed this team was going to be a playoff caliber team and this team was going to give the Chiefs a run for their money. Looking back at it, they're not ready for prime time. I think going forward, you have to get a brand new coach in there. But that's my thing with the Denver Broncos. If you fire Nathaniel Hackett, right, you just came off of a coach that was a very good defensive coach and had offensive woes as well. This team, no matter who the coach has been the last couple of years, the offense hasn't gelled because the quarterback hasn't worked. At some point in time, you're going to have to look at somebody else besides the coaches that you bring in and look besides these play callers. And Nathaniel Hackett giving up play calling isn't going to help their case any better than it already is. It just throws another coach underneath the bus. That's what I honestly believe in. Since Peyton Manning retired, and even that last year Peyton Manning, the offense has not gelled well with the Denver Broncos, regardless of the weapons that they have, whether it's a Cortland Sutton who's a baller, Jerry Jeudy who's very good, Javonte Williams when healthy is a very good running back. Regardless of who it is on this offensive side, they have struggled. How many times can you blame a coach for that? But I do believe that Nathaniel Hackett should get a second chance with the Denver Broncos, but I don't think that he will. I don't think that he will. He should, in my opinion. I would bring him back because of all the stuff that he had to deal with the fumbling issues with Melvin Gordon, the missed throws with Russell Wilson being in a new system. I can come out here and make all the excuses for Russell Wilson, but you guys know I'm not going to do that. He's just been bad this season. I just have to come out and say it. He hasn't been good this season. And the Denver Broncos are in a scary place because of it. Because you just gave a guy a massive contract extension that looks like he's way behind his prime. Can he shake out of it? Maybe he can, but we haven't seen it as of late. So let me know in the comment section, how do you feel about the Denver Broncos? Do you think Nathaniel Hackett should be fired? Do you think it's a Russell Wilson problem? I think that both of these guys deserve blame. I think it's 50-50. I think Nathaniel Hackett gets 50%, Russell Wilson gets 50%. Because if you put a quarterback in there that can just average 20 points a game, the Denver Broncos be one of the best teams in the NFL because their defense isn't giving up that many points or many yards on the field. Yes, the play calling hasn't been perfect, like I said, but the quarterback play hasn't been perfect as well. And this is coming from a guy that loves both of these guys. I love to see Russell Wilson play in his prime. Watching it right now is gut-wrenching, and watching Nathaniel Hackett go out there and call some of these plays is also hair-scratching to me. But I'm not going to have any bias here. Both of these guys deserve blame. So let me know in the comment section how you feel about it below. Who do you give majority of the blame to? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, each and every last one, you guys stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Peace.